Hi everyone, this is Artemis with SirLinksalot, and today we're going to be talking about press releases for SEO. Now, these are probably my favorite type of foundational backlink, and frankly, they're just an awesome way to get backlinks from trusted and authoritative sources. We'll be talking a lot about what press releases are and how to get them, how you can use them, as well as how you can place an order at the end of the video with us if that's something that you're interested in. Now, keep in mind we'll be going over a lot in this video, so if you'd like to skip around to something specific, feel free to use the timestamps that we listed at the bottom. Alright, so let's get started.
So what are press releases? Press releases are when you write an article and then give it to a service, where they then go ahead and distribute it to a bunch of news websites and other authoritative sources. This happens all at once, so you can get backlinks from a large number of websites all at the same time. In general, press releases allow you to include 1 to 3 backlinks in your article. Press releases are considered white hat, which means that they're extremely safe to use, and you don't really need to worry about breaking any of Google's guidelines. But we'll talk more about anchor text a little bit later on in this video and how you want to be careful with the type of anchor text that you're choosing. Press releases are also no-follow backlinks for the most part, but that doesn't mean that they're not good for you. No-follow backlinks can still pass on a lot of trust, authority, and link juice to your website. No-follow backlinks can still pass on a lot of trust, authority, and link juice to your website, but we still consider them to be quite different than something like a link insertion, a niche edit, or a guest post, which are always do-follow contextual backlinks coming from blogs. We consider press releases to be more of a pillow link or foundational link, and in a lot of cases, they really can push your rankings forward pretty hard. But that's not really the primary reason that we use press releases. We use them more for naturalness and as a way to get a large number of links at one time and to add some trust and credibility to your website. In essence, press releases are one way to show Google that you're a serious business and you're trying to let people on the internet know about your business, your services, or some news. Compared to a lot of other types of foundational backlinks like social profiles, Web 2.0s, or citations, we think that they're a lot stronger and more effective. So next up, how to use press releases. Press releases can really be used at any point during your link building journey. You can use them down here at the very beginning when you don't have any kind of traffic at all yet, or you can use them pretty much anywhere else along your journey, even when you're at an all-time high and have tons of traffic. Just think about what a real company would do. Would a real company stop publishing press releases just because they've become successful? The answer is no, of course not. They're going to keep publishing press releases whenever they have something important to say. So while we love using press releases down here at the very beginning of the journey, we really like to use them throughout the entire process. You can even have 1 or 2 press releases a year. I would say be careful not to really spam them or to do too many, and just keep them to times when you really have something important to say, or if you haven't done one in a little while. Like I mentioned before, when you get a press release, you can generally specify between 1 to 3 backlinks to include in your article. In most cases, we suggest that people just link to their homepage with a very natural anchor text. And by very natural anchor text, I mean branded anchors, URL anchors, or generic anchors like click here. So if we get a press release for SirLinksalot, we'd most likely include a backlink to our homepage here. However, we can also link to a couple of other pages on our website. For example, let's say we did a press release about how we just started offering a new service to our clients. Then we could include a backlink to our homepage here, and we could also include a backlink to our niche edits product page over here as well. In general, just try to do something that makes sense rather than trying to be spammy. Being spammy with press releases or being very aggressive in an SEO sense is not something that you really want to do. These are a very natural type of backlinks, so you should probably try to make them look as natural as possible. Otherwise, you're just making something that's supposed to be natural into something that's spammy, and that definitely defeats the entire purpose. So first, you're going to have a newsworthy article written. Then you're going to specify which pages on your website to link to from that article, and it'll most likely be your homepage and maybe 1 or 2 other pages that make sense. Then for the anchor text, you're going to be using something very natural like your brand, your URL, or some generic anchors. You're really going to want to stay away from using exact match or partial match anchors, as this could be seen by spammy as Google, and we really don't want that to happen. So next up, how to get press releases. Now, getting press releases is actually quite simple. You can just go to the press release website and order, but the problem here is that there are a ton of different providers and you might not be sure which one is best, and the prices might be a bit high because you're not ordering in bulk. So you can see here that we've got PR Newswire, eReleases.com, Newswire, BusinessWire, PR Web, and there's a ton more like Magic PR and EIN, just to name a few. There really are a ton of these things. But the other option, of course, is to get a press release from a provider such as ourselves, where we can take care of all of that decision making for you. You can just order your press release and not have to worry about if you're getting the right one. Now we'll talk about our press releases and how to place an order if that's something that you're interested in. Scrolling down to our product page, you can see that our press releases cost $79 each. You're allowed to choose between 2 countries, 5 industries. It includes AP Networks placement and a bunch of other stuff over here. I should mention that it does include 3 backlinks per article. The ordering process itself is also quite simple. You just place an order and you can decide if you want us to write the article for you or not, and we'll kind of just guide you through that entire process to make sure that your article meets all of the press wire's guidelines and it doesn't have any problems like getting rejected. At that point, we'll go ahead and submit it to the press wire. This usually happens pretty quickly after the article is done, and they just go ahead and distribute it to the different news platforms. After just a few days, we'll give you a full report, including the platforms that your press release was distributed to, and you can go ahead and check the indexation in Google and all of that good stuff. Scrolling down here to the bottom of the page, we have some FAQs, so just be sure to check that out if you have any more questions. Or, of course, you can just send us an email over at info@sirlinksalot.co. When you're ready to place an order, you can just come back up here to the pricing table and click the Order Now button. Ordering is quite simple, but I'll go ahead and walk you through the process anyway. Up here at the top, you just give us your name and email. Here you can choose how many press releases you want, and here you can choose if you'd like us to write the content for you. That means that you can write the content yourself, but you need to be sure to follow all of our press release guidelines, which you can find here at the top of the page. There are actually quite a lot of guidelines, so please be sure to read through these thoroughly and make sure that you're not going to have any problems getting rejected. It's all right if your article does get rejected, but you're pretty much just going to be wasting time at that point, so definitely give these a read, especially if you are in some kind of sensitive niche. Next up, you're just going to give us some things like the press release title, subtitle, the city you're located in, the state you're located in, if it applies, your country, your time zone, and when you want the press release to be distributed. Here's a place to upload your article if you are the one who is going to be writing it yourself. Here, you're choosing your keywords and your anchor text, and like I said before, just be sure to use natural targets and natural anchor text when you're doing this. Next up, you have a bunch of contact information. The thing with press releases is that they actually want real contact info here, so they actually do check it, and you can't use some kind of fake business or fake name. Use your real information. Now, some of this will be displayed, but if, for example, your phone number or your email are something that you do not want to be displayed, you can actually choose if you want them to be presented or not, and we will take care of that for you. Down at the bottom, we have your social media URLs, stock exchange if applicable, an embedded quote if you'd like one, embedded images if you would like those to be included, a video, of course, optional, and your website if you would like that to be included as well as your Google My Business listing if you would like that. Here is language, and down here at the bottom are two kind of more important things. You can choose your industries for distribution. You can find the different industries over here on our press release guidelines page. You can choose up to 5 of these, for example, education, environment, human rights law, etc. Then you can choose your countries for distribution. So you can choose, for example, the USA and Canada. You can see your total over here on the right-hand side, and whenever you're ready to pay, you can just fill out the information and click Complete Purchase. Back to our product page and scrolling down to the FAQ at the very bottom, you can see a sample report right here. This will give you a bunch of information on where your press release was distributed and things like that. What I like to do when I see these reports is go down here and click this Google button right here. And that'll just pull up your press release on Google and show you all the different places that it's been indexed. It's also worth noting that while we're here, you can see the press release is done by EIN Presswire. We do all of our press releases through EIN just because they are the cheapest and the most easy to do. If you wanted to do the press releases yourself through EIN, you could totally do that. You could come over to their website right here, and here I am on their pricing page right now. But the thing is, when you come to the pricing, you see that the cheapest that they can get is $149 per press release, while we offer them for $79. The reason that this is possible is because we buy them in bulk, so we can sell them to you for cheaper that way. All right, so that's all that I have for you when it comes to my favorite type of foundational backlink, the press release. We've talked about what they are, how to use them, how to get them, our press releases, and how to place an order. If you need more information, definitely check out our blog at SirLinksalot. We've got a bunch of different articles on link building and press releases in general, and you can also search our YouTube channel because we have a ton of people asking us questions over there. You can also join our Facebook group, the SEO Roundtable, because we are active on Facebook in this group every single day, posting tips and answering questions about SEO. All right, everyone, that's all for now, and we will see you in the next one.